Hello, everybody. Okay, so welcome to another episode of Blaq2Reality. Today the two is a one only because my friend Chaz is out of town. He got his mother a car, so he had to go and up into. Well, I won't say where he's going, but he's going up. Well, I can say Apple Valley. He's going to Apple Valley to drop off the car, and I don't know. I don't think it's a surprise. I think his mom knows, but I'm super excited about that because that's big shit. I wish I could do that myself, but I can't because I'm broke. But hopefully that won't be for eternity. All right, so. Um, some of the things that I want to talk about. I just saw the Blackish episode, which was really, really good. I don't know if y'all watched Blackish, but it just premiered this week. And what I thought was cool about it was that they kind of hit on Columbus Day. And also, well, Columbus Day is mad problematic. We already know that. We don't have to go into detail as far as the genocide that happened to the indigenous people and whatnot. If you don't know, then you should Google that shit, know about the history of it, the true history. But the show kind of focused on why Columbus Day is problematic, but they also did some satirical musical type. They did a satire episode on Juneteenth. Now, Juneteenth is the day, it's June 19th, the day when slavery was abolished in the States. It started in Texas, but I forget the year. Let me see if I put the year. I don't know if I put the year. Did I put the year? Let's see if I put the year. I didn't put the year. So, 1865. Hopefully that's right. I feel like I'm missing a piece of paper, but I know it might be in the bathroom because I used the restroom like 3 times. But yeah, 1865. We're just gonna go with that. If it's not, please correct me or Google it. But I thought it was really, really cool. Oh, you know what? It's in the I'm missing the book. There was a book. Oh, thank you. Is this it? I found it. Ow, I found it, everybody. Okay. So yeah, it was 1865. June 19, 1865, and they commemorate the abolishment of slavery. So, as growing up, that was something I kind of knew about, but it was kind of just celebrated amongst Black people. But I like that the fact that it was spoken about on the show Blackish, and the way that they did it and that satire style was amazing. So if you get a chance, check that out. It was amazing. It was funny. I'm a big fan of Jennifer Lewis, big fan of Lawrence Fishburne, big fan of Tracy Ellis Ross. So the drinks are kicking in. Okay, so talking about TV shows. I think I first saw it on the Shade Room, but the source of this rumor was from lovebescott.com. And so I've been waiting for Real Housewives of Atlanta to come back on. I think it's going to be a really good season. But they said, so it's rumored that Eva from America's Next Top Model is going to either be a replacement or make appearances on the next season. But also, Miss Portia, she just can't keep her hands to herself. And on top of that, the person that she bucking up on, fucking with, trying to get these hands with is Marlo. Marlo got a record, so I don't know if you really want to F with her like that, but it's rumored that Marlo and Miss Portia, who said that, got into a little tussle, a little altercation, verbal and physical. So I think they just gave her way too many chances, and now they're probably gonna kind of give her the boot, which kind of sucks. And on top of that, I think not Portia, what was the one that got kicked off of? Phaedra got, I think supposedly she sued Bravo, which is not really a good idea if you have intentions to go back on the show, because once you try and sue a big ass network, it kind of is a done deal for your ass. So we'll see if she ever makes it back on, but I know she's trying to get them coinages, trying to get them funds, huns. So we'll see how that goes, but unfortunately, I think Phaedra might not make it back on the show ever because she sued the network, which was not really a good news, but I mean, a good move, but I understand why she did it because she want them coins. Okay, moving on. So there was a slut walk with Amber Rose. That's kind of all I have to say with that. I don't understand what the point of the slut walk is. I mean, I understand initially why she did it, but now I just think it's all about Amber Rose and being seen and excuses to be slutatious. And from one slutatious person to another, like, I have no problem being slutatious. I will be a slutatious horrification all up and down these streets, but I don't necessarily need a whole gang behind me to do it. I get the point, but I think the point has been lost at this point. That's a lot of points, but that's my point. All right. So, yeah. And also, I think after watching the video with, like, seeing pictures of it, it just kind of looked like a early Halloween situation because they were wearing costumes and Amber Rose had a wig, and it was kind of interesting because she's one of those girls that, like, which is rare, but she looks better without hair than she does with hair. So that's kind of interesting. But, like, I guess I would rather be that than just, I don't know, ugly. I don't know. I don't know what to call it, but she looks way better without hair, which is rare because she's so beautiful. But yeah, they wore like these costumes, and I kind of lost the point of why the whole slut walk is. It just seems a bit, I don't know. But, still props out to her. She's doing her thing. That's nice, whatever. It happened this weekend. I think it was successful. So, kudos to her. But I'm not really. This could be the last one. It's fine. I'm good. We good. All right. Okay. I'm trying to figure out where I want to go next with this. It's something that I necessarily don't want to dwell on, but shit's just it's happening a lot, and I think we just have to talk about it, unfortunately. And so there was a mass shooting that happened in Vegas. The Vegas shooting that occurred on Sunday. And it was catastrophic. And it's something that happens over and over and over and over again. And this particular mass shooting, they're saying, is one of the worst in history of the, states. There was 50 plus killed, more than 500 injured. And every time this happens, I feel that we negate the fact that there needs to be stronger gun control policies, gun control regulations. And every time this happens, Trump says, or just people in general, the news, politicians, they always state that now's not the time to talk about it, which I feel like is the perfect time to talk about it when it actually just happened. And I think a lot of times people wait until, there is no conversation being had about it anymore, and that's just way too late. I think we need to talk about it now. A lot of times with gun regulations and talking about implementing regulations and policy and procedures and whatnot, people, politicians in particular, want to shy away from it, and want the narrative to be something else. And I think it's time to crack down on it. I have to clarify that gun control does not mean taking away guns. Even though I am actually for taking away guns. I don't have any problems with it, but a lot of times people, especially me growing up in the South, I hear it endlessly when people talk about gun control and, oh, I needed to protect my family, or oh, I fought in so and so war. I served in the army. I served in the military, and we can't blame the guns. We have to blame the people and whatnot. And gun control does not mean eradicating guns altogether. It just means implementing regulations, policy, and procedures. For example, with gun control, I feel that if we even had guidelines like with renewing a license, or something as simple as that, would really make a big difference on what is happening time and time again to all American citizens, U.S. citizens. Just implementing an expiration date, from time to time, having psychic evaluations from time to time, having a cap on the magazine size or amount of bullets that you can own, or guns that you can own from time to time, it being uploaded into a database, keeping record of that stuff, could minimize the massacre that happens time and time again for years. No one's talking about that. No one is, trying to implement anything regarding that. And it is really disheartening. It's quite frankly just a slap in the face. And I'm so fucking tired of it. There needs to be stronger gun laws. There needs to be stronger gun control, gun regulations. And even if you wanted to vary state to state, everything is in a database. You can do statistical type of analysis to figure out what type of regulation needs to be implemented state to state and act accordingly. And I'm really passionate about it because I've just seen way too many people gunned down, whether it be face to face, whether it be on TV, whether it be just hearing about in the news. And it's hard for me to figure out who it has not affected. Who else has to die? Who else has to be massacred? Who else has to be slaughtered in this ominous way to actually start the conversation? It's affected Black people, it's affected brown people, it's affected inner city, suburbia, children, men, women. You have Sandy Hook, you have Pulse nightclub, the conversation should have started way before Columbine. So I'm at this point, I'm lost for words. I don't get it. I don't understand what the fuck is going on and what else needs to happen for people to start getting like the rest of the world, to, I don't know, fucking figure that shit out. You go to London, you go, to the UK, and cops don't carry arms, and it's something like they bring in a SWAT team for that type of situation. You have all these other countries that don't necessarily go through the amount of deaths and the death toll that we do when you compare it to other states. It's a significant difference in murders, when it comes to mass shooting. And this guy was white. And I feel because he was white, they're looking for every excuse in the book to figure out what's going on. He's not linked to any type of terrorist organizations. He's not linked to ISIS. He doesn't necessarily showing that he has any type of mental health issue, which clearly he does, but his background is not in that. And they still refuse to call him a terrorist. They still refuse to call him what he is. And that's the media for you. And it's, if you're not getting it at this point, then I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, get your head out of the sand. Like, see what the fuck is really going on, because it's happening. And this is so blatant that, like I said, I don't know what else to call it. So, he's a terrorist. It's point blank, you know, he had mass weapons. Like, he had several rounds and several guns. And then people are talking about beefing up the security in hotels. Okay, no, that's not the fucking answer. It's time to talk about gun laws, and it's time to have a, like, be serious about it. All right, I'm not going to dwell on that any longer. I kind of said my piece, and I probably spoke way longer than I was supposed to, but it was something that I had to speak about. Also, was there any comments or questions? No? Okay. It's like one person on there, I'm sure. All right. The other thing is the PR situation. There's still people in Puerto Rico that is without water, without light, without food, without, you know, the common necessities. And it's really, really making me feel frustrated, angry, and kind of like hopeless in a sense, because here you have the president, he visits San Juan, and the way he carried himself at that, I don't even know what to call it. I can't really call it like a press conference, or it just, no interviews, like no one could ask any questions or anything like that. So it was just like this, I don't know, a red carpet event. I don't know what the fuck to call it. So, but he's throwing like paper towels into the crowd, and the crowd is just going wild, and they're just like, oh, and it really pisses me off, because I feel like it really captured the way that the president not only looks at black and brown people in need, how he looks at Latinos in need, how he looks at Puerto Rico in need, that is part of the U.S. citizen soil. It shows how media portrays us as well. And it is something that's been happening way too long, but it also is something that I feel like is not necessarily getting the proper coverage that it should be. I don't think the truth is actually being told as it should be. I think a lot of stuff is being left out. I think the picture of what's going on in Puerto Rico is the full story isn't being told. They're picking one particular section of the whole island, as they do with a lot of other places. They pick the one particular like major city where there's high tourist rates, where there's high, you know, demographics of people, wealthy people, white people, whatnot. And I feel that it's really deceitful. I think that it's not the truth, and the truth needs to be told. And I know you were saying something about like there's certain like islands. I mean, I'm sorry, certain cities that aren't. They're not even being visited. Like, they're not even getting any type of media coverage. And I think that's something that also needs to be told too. Like, I feel like if you are a journalist, if you are media, you need to show the real. And the real is not just where the wealthy people are. The real is not just where the major cities are. It's all the people. And you need to go into those different cities, those different vecinos, those different barrios, and show the real of what's going on. And I have people that, they are doing better, but they're doing better in the sense of because they work in hospitality and they're serving these assholes. And that's not better. That's just better for one small percentage of people in Puerto Rico. So I don't know if there was, something you want to add or like something that that's not being covered.
Well, if I was to add anything, is pretty much that what was said during the press conference was definitely uh, missing a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
It was distorted information because it was trying to paint a picture of that presented um, the federal government as the
Competent.
savior
Yeah.
of these people, and yeah, totally competent, and it was a celebration of these two people.
And that's what perturbs me so much.
And the governor.
They made it seem like this to even show him quote unquote helping people in this celebratory manner is so just off putting and so like unrealistic and not actually of what's going on. So that was like that just fucking boiled my blood. Like it was like what the fuck? Like that's not you're making a mockery of it. You're making it trivial and it's not, so yeah.
Yeah. Also, it reminds it, for those of us that are looking for truth and are looking for facts.
Mm-hmm.
I think it reminds us that we can't find it on mainstream media.
Right.
Because a lot of the information that I've gathered from what's happening back home, other than it being word of mouth from my family that's out there, firsthand experience,
Mm-hmm.
I'm also getting it from local news that are those radio stations where people call in
Mm-hmm.
to tell you what's going on in their
Yeah.
town, and those are like it can't get more
real than
You know
that.
what I mean?
You got to hear it from the people. You can't. Media always has this way of betraying injustices or catastrophes, catastrophic events, and this suitable way that a certain demographics can take it, and it's not necessarily showing the real. And I, for one, including Yachty, are just really, really tired of it. It's not like I implore you to, look beyond media, look beyond, your standard media or news sources and see what's really going on. Connect with the people and ask what you can do to actually, help, whether it be donate or whether it be shipping and mailing goods that you can. And I guess at this moment, I'll give a quick shout out, to some of the, I guess, celebs. I mean, not to forget, like, the regular everyday people that are fighting and, doing what they can. But it's not a lot of people that are helping. So, quick shout out to Jennifer Lopez, Adam Rodriguez, Daddy Yankee, and people. And Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin, what did he do? He donated as well.
Yeah, he had a big campaign, like a donation or an effort, and then he went there to visit the towns and to actually go to people's homes and distribute the help.
Yeah. And I know a lot of them are having like these concerts, in I guess what is it called, benefit concerts in effort to assist Puerto Rico to help the island. So shout out to them, and shout out to all those other people, whether it be celebrities or not, that's not publicizing what they're doing, but just helping out the kindness of their heart. I think it says a lot about people that help people or help certain efforts, um, that don't necessarily affect them. I think that it shows a lot about their character. It shows a lot about the type of person they are. It shows a lot about how kind-hearted they are. When you do something or you do a random act of kindness, for something or some, yeah, some type of just random act of kindness for whatever, and it does not necessarily affect you. I think it shows a lot because you don't have to do it. It's not something that necessarily would be on your radar, but it's just something you just are just showing humanity, and you're showing that you care about just people, and that's really important. So that's why I thought it was important to shout these people out, and just shout out everybody else that is donating and assisting with the efforts of rebuilding Puerto Rico and the island, and rebuilding the spirits of the people of Puerto Rico. So I got some more stuff. So with all that being said, all the bullshit that is happening, and all of the bullshit responses that Trump is giving regarding this, these troublesome fuckery that is happening in the States, we got Miss Tina Campbell from Mary, that finally admitted, which I don't know why on earth she admitted this, but she admitted that she voted for Trump. And her reasoning behind fucking voting for Trump is because she didn't too much care for either candidate. But she said that Donald Trump was more in alignment with her Christian values. Oh, Lord Jesus, let me take a drink. A really quick. Let me meditate on that. Y'all know ho wanna fuck with me. No ho. No, you didn't ho. I don't understand. Why would you do something like that? That don't make no goddamn sense. Because she did that, I implore her. I want you to put your pussy on a silver platter and serve it up for him to grab. Why did you grab your pussy? Because what Christian values are you talking about? Nothing that he has been doing is Christ-like. And I am really dumbfounded. I'm befuddled. I don't understand why you would do something like that. I think it also shows a strong reflection of the Christian community. It shows a reflection of a lot of people in the South. A lot of people think this way. There's a lot of people, which is why I was not surprised when Donald Trump was elected. A lot of people feel like they would rather vote for a man than a woman. They would rather vote for a Christian than someone that is not Bible thumping, They rather vote for someone that is upholding traditional values. Not and these traditional values don't necessarily benefit people of color, like people not even understanding the root of where these traditional values come from. Like, there's so many people that voted for Donald Trump and not understand them having their reasons, but not understanding the reasons behind their reasonings, that just chose to vote for Donald Trump. So I'm kind of done with her. I've been done with her for a while, but I think it's also enlightening that I think it's a conversation starter. Her admitting her reasoning why really sheds light on a lot of the logic of thinking of a lot of people. What's up?
Did she say what are some of those Christian values? Did she actually mention?
I don't think she necessarily mentioned what the Christian values were, but she just, and I think also you have to be more aware, you have to be more conscious and understand when someone is pandering to pandering to you, which both parties, to be quite frankly, was pandering like a motherfucker. But I think for me, what it boiled down to, because I definitely voted for Hillary Clinton, like, okay, I guess I'm with her because, but the reason why I voted for Hillary Clinton is just the simple fact that she was more qualified. She had more experience, like just all the other bullshit aside, like if you have to pick between the two evils, come on now. Like, you're gonna pick the person that's just more qualified, the one that actually has tangible experience in the field that they're working in, someone that is knowledgeable of, policies and politics and has diplomacy and all that other bullshit. Like, you just pick, like, she was between the two, she was the better candidate. And yeah, they both would have been implementing some bullshit that we both wouldn't have agreed with, but it wouldn't be catastrophic. It wouldn't be, what it is now, where it's just blatant hatred and blatant, just disrespect and blatant, just antiquated thinking. Just all of this bullshit that he's doing. Like, if the fact that I even have to talk about this is just kind of silly. Like, you should know, like, you vote for the person that's most qualified. So there you have it. Like, there you fucking have it. So I'm done with her. Been done with her for a while. I hope she put those shackles back on her feet and she can't dance anymore. And she can go ahead and praise him. I don't know who she praising to, but go ahead and praise him. All right, I'm about to wrap it up. I think. Oh, okay. You know what? I honestly don't want to talk about it. I'll just. So there's like current news. Don Lemon has a new boyfriend. He's white. Milo Yiganova, I don't know his last name. He married a black guy. I'm not surprised. Holly Berry is dating the kid, which is some producer, which is good for her. I watched a movie with her, and it was pretty good. She's really good at playing strong white women. Holly Berry and Jennifer Lopez, I feel in particular, are really, really good at playing strong white women. So props to them for crossing over like a motherfucker and getting them coins. She does it well, and I am a fan, I guess. I like Miss Holly, and I hope it works out for her. I hope it works out for everybody. I just want everybody to be happy because I've been single for a very long time, and it's really sad. Really sad. Okay. I think that's it. I think I've gone through the list. Oh, quick shout out to Gabrielle Union. Since, you got to give a little shout out. Gabrielle Union, I guess, admitted that she's had 8 or 9 miscarriages. And I think it's really, really important for, is it a bad comment? Oh. I think it's really, really important that women speak about this. I won't go into, of course, too much in depth with it because I'm not a woman. I don't know about that whole, birthing experience or the trauma that happens when that happens. But I will say I think it's really important that people talk about it more. I do understand that it's something that people do not talk about, and the fact that Gabrielle Union has spoke about it, Beyonce has spoke about it, Remy Ma has spoke about it, and several others have come out. Wendy Williams has spoke about the traumatic effects of miscarriages and what happens to your body, what happens to you mentally. Like, it's something that is so common, and it's something that so needs to be talked about. And so I just want to give a shout out to her, and also I want to give a shout out to the podcast in Black Mamas, because they also talked about that in several episodes, and it really enlightened me on not only the trauma, but the experience of um, not only birthing a child, but the trimester. Is that what it's called? The trimester and the whole, cycle of pregnancy. And it kind of reverts back to what I said earlier. When you take the time to learn about something that doesn't necessarily affect you, it makes you a more empathetic person. It makes you more of a conscious person. It makes you more of a well-rounded human being. And so that knowledge has really enlightened me, and it's really shed. It's changed the way I navigate through life, knowing that information. So shout out to her. Shout out to everybody that was brave enough to talk about that. And I guess last, what is it called? Last before least? No, that's not where. Last, what is it? Do I speak English?
You've been drinking.
I know, I've been drinking. I'm sorry. Last but not least. Okay, let me hurry up. Okay. I'm gonna drop 2 jewels. Um, I just wanna drop this little situation drip drop. Oh my god, that song was terrible, but it was addicting. I don't know why. I've been going through some things, and some of them are first world problems. Some of them are like real fucking problems. But what I have heard, so I will say a pet peeve of mine is when people regurgitate things that they heard, or regurgitate, not, well, I won't say things that they heard, but just like those sayings, like, I'm trying to think of one. I hate them so much, it's hard for me to even fucking remember, but like, I don't know, what's one? Yeah, like, people regurgitate sayings and they don't necessarily like understand the meaning or actually live by them. And so one of them was like, I understand being thankful. I understand, count your blessings and stuff like that. And I do understand the significance behind it. I think the significance behind it for me is just awareness of what you do have, awareness of how far you have come by counting your blessings. But when it gets to the point where people tell you to be happy with what you have, or be thankful for what you got, and not strive for more or strive for better, I think it makes you complacent. And complacency, in my book, for some people it's okay, but for me and for a lot of people around me, it's not good. It's not something that I necessarily tell people to be. It's nothing wrong with striving for more. It's nothing wrong with striving for greatness. It's nothing wrong with working towards more. And I think when it comes to even wanting equality or justice, you cannot just be complacent. You cannot just say, okay, at least I got this and at least I got that. No. Demand more, want more, desire more. And it's because of people like that is why Black and brown people are where we are now. It's because they saw the status quo and they said that was unacceptable. And so what I basically am saying is that it's nothing wrong with wanting more, with being okay to not just necessarily be okay with what you just have and not wanting any more. Like, want more, be great. If you see potential, especially if you see potential in yourself and wanting more and knowing that you deserve more, I'm not gonna be the one to say, well, at least, just count your blessings. At least you have this, at least you have that. Bitch, I already know you recognize that you have what you have, and you know, feel that that's a blessing. I know that you've gone, you worked hard for what you got, but it's nothing wrong with you wanting to continue to climb that mountain and move forward and, work hard to achieve greatness. And so, that being said, I just want to tell everyone out there that I hear you, I'm with you, and I have heard that bullshit myself. And when somebody come at you like that, know that they mean good intentions. Know that they know that that they're just know that they're trying to say something to comfort you, but just pay it dust and keep moving forward. Like, know that you it's okay to want more and that you actually do deserve more because you see your potential even though other people don't. And so move towards that. Let that motivate you. Um, and let other people be complacent in their own light. But you be that light to, move forward and shine forward. And that being said, when someone is full of shit, just know that only two things can come out of that, and it's gas or bullshit. Either way, the shit stinks. So keep moving forward, because those people that's full of shit, they just gonna end up gassy and, shitty. And they both stink. So, 2 jewels, boo boo. All right. That second one was the shitty situation. All right, y'all. I've held y'all long enough. My 2, 1, or 0 followers that I have. All right, y'all have a good night. I gotta pee again, of course. Love y'all.